I have had one of the most intense couple of months ever. Literally ever. Like, since I can remember. I went to Burning Man. A couple weeks prior to Burning Man, I had I bit a corn chip, and then I ended up getting an infection, got antibiotics, and that all cleared up. I went to Burning Man. Our camp, it was a shit show. Our camp was so disorganized, and I was really frustrated because our camp lead, I expected he would be doing physical work, but it really didn't work out like that. And then he had this attitude when I'd bring up the idea that he should be working more. So then it's like, who wants to be guilted? So it's like, and the guy who was working so hard, he ended up dying. Carbon monoxide poisoning, and he was just a really good dude. Everybody was super sad. He died midweek. I mean, you can look it up. Man dies at Burning Man. That was the guy. He's a really good person. And then after Burning Man, I get people were grieving, but it's like nothing was getting done. A lot of people most everybody was gone on Tuesday. After the burn, all the camps were packed up and gone. But Tuesday morning, our camp was still all set up. And I was like, this guy comes in. I'm frustrated, because I'm up at sunrise all these days. This guy comes and he's like, I can help you work for a half hour. I was like, yes. Let's start snapping these zip ties, holding the tarp down on the dome. And inside, no, don't keep your dome down yet. It's fucking Tuesday, what the hell? So, whatever. Well, then the camp lead, I rode off with the dude because nobody else was working. I was doing stuff. I was pretty pissed off actually. So I went and hung out with him for a while. Came back. One dude was upset. And I'm like, you got no traction with me, baby. But then he said that our camp lead had gone to Reno to the hospital, and it ended up he had to have surgery. So then the guy drove him there. So then that was 3 people were out. We tore down camp with 3 people. It was so much work. There was so much foot dragging, so much frustration. It was ridiculous. And then right near the end there, we get on the playa at Burning Man. You get cell signal before the burn and then after the burn. During the burn, there's no cell signal. I think it's just too many people with too many devices. And so as people start clearing out, I turn on my phone, how it is. Bing, 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 bing. Well, I called the dude from that was covering my shop. As I turned on my phone, I saw something about a broken window. And I'm like, oh, lordy, 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 lordy. I don't even want to hear about it. So I got him on the phone. I said, don't tell me about the broken window. Are you at the shop? Can you cover the next couple days? Well, like I said, most people were out there Tuesday. We didn't get out until Friday night. But it was really beautiful. On Thursday night. Wednesday was a hella dust storm. It was Tuesday. Anyway, it blew the dome 8 feet. Ended up crumpling it a little bit. It was pretty fierce. The whole, you can't see your hand in front of your face. During that dust storm, you couldn't have seen your hand in front of your face. Literally. It was that dusty, and it went on for an hour. And the next day, it was another little dust storm, a little rainstorm, and then after that, it was one of the most magnificent rainbows I've ever seen. The first one was really great. It was a full rainbow, and the end ended from where we were at, right where the man had been, right in the center of the clock. And then a couple hours later, or an hour later, there was another one, but it was a double rainbow. And the left side, where it ended, was just as brilliant bright as a rainbow could be. Boom, right into the earth. And this girl who was at our camp, great for morale, real sweet darling, but she didn't do a lot of physical work. But she goes riding off on her bicycle to the end of the rainbow. It was precious. But the other side, it was a double rainbow, and it was one of the most magnificent rainbow things I've ever seen. The clouds from behind cause these striped breaks in the rainbow, but the rainbow itself was somehow multi-dimensional. It was more vivid than almost any rainbow I've ever seen, and it seemed to go like it had a depth that was uncommon. Well, it was, let's just say it was nourishing, somehow reassuring, settling in my heart. And then the next day we ended up, it was either that night or the next day, we ended up at the just a ranch up the road, which was really quite magnificent. It was really beautiful people, good water, unlimited water, deer, fruit trees, really subtle, sublime, beautiful people. Everything was easy, whatever you want, comfort, showers. Then we get back, and it wasn't until Sunday afternoon that we were finally unloaded. It was like 5 o'clock Sunday. I was like, all right, truck's empty. A lot of work left to do, but I did more than my share. I wasn't bitching about it, but you get to a point where it's just like you want to see something through. Your integrity is worth more than any momentary discomfort. Because I can look back now and be like, I did it. I mean, I saw that through. I could have bailed any number of times. I could have made it a lot harder on a lot of people. But I sucked it up and I did a lot of work. And now I have that pride. Well, getting back to that broken window. So a couple days goes by and I'm like, all right, I need to figure out what happened. So I call and I'm like, all right, tell me what happened. Someone broke into my shop twice. Broke both my major windows. Let me see if I can get a visual on this thing. I don't know if you can see, there's a board on that. You can see that one window's boarded up. The other side's boarded up too. Anyway. People. They stole an old computer. It didn't really work with anything, although it had been around the world with me. And I thought they stole my hard drives, but they were in my safe, thankfully, because that was irreplaceable. Stole a couple guitars. One I had since I was 17. It's the only thing I have to show for my time at Burger King. And the other one was a custom guitar my friends had built, which didn't play that well, but it was a work of art. Actually, it's the interest payment. Supposedly, my guitar is still coming. I gave him like $1,200 or $1,500. Wait, like 12, 13 years ago or something like this. And I go, oh, we'll build it. But I think I just caused luthier constipation, I don't know. I never got the guitar. And one time after like 7 years, I tried to forgive the debt, and Luke was like, no. It's coming. Just don't know when. Let me call him. Maybe he'll give it to me. Yeah, right. It's one of those things where when you put something off long enough and it becomes this stagnant thing. Then yesterday I was out hiking. Finally got up to the mountain. Actually, I ended up going to the dentist, and I was getting a couple crowns, and they took radio pictures of my X-rays, and the one tooth that had this big infection, the other, it's dead to cold, it's dead to electrics. They say it's infected. It doesn't hurt or anything like that, and I'm all about wishful thinking, but I don't want to get a root canal. I've seen too many bad things. It's like infections just kind of sitting there, and there's no way to fully clean it, so I don't want to do it, but I'm going to get that tooth pulled. So I'm going to do some wishful thinking and rinsing with all sorts of things, get it down in the water pick. And like I say, I do some wishful thinking, but I think I'm just going to have them pull it, and then they do a little bone graft, and then they do an implant. Now, I don't want that, I mean, this whole Burning Man trip, in the end, I lost a lot of business, lost my front windows. It probably cost me over $4,000 for that Burning Man trip. Now, the experiences I got, I couldn't buy those, But then yesterday, I had the good fortune of going up to the mountain finally after that fucking dental appointment that really didn't make me happy. Oh, it'll be a half hour. I thought they were going to grind my teeth. No, we got to do some other stuff first, which, I don't want to grind on my teeth necessarily, but, what did we make this appointment for? For impressions? Why did we do those before? Anyway, so I was hiking, and I was sitting up on this rock, and I'm not 100% sure, but I think the rock has split. It was one of my good seating places. I haven't sat there for better part of a year, but it was one place I would sit a lot, and it's split. It's like a full-on split rock. I'm like, is that always split? I don't know. So I'm sitting this thing. I look to the left, and it's it's not man-made. It was a natural thing, but it was like it looked like there was the way it was on the hill, a bush, and then it looked like radiant lines. So it looked like a sun with a spot. I'm sitting on this thing looking at this. I mean, that'd be a good place for treasure, except that like 2 seasons from now, plants will grow different and won't have that sun-like thing. But I had this spirit inspiration to go there. So all right. So I'm hiking over there. I don't expect to find anything. It's up a rocky wash. But lo and behold, I find this knife. It's an old railroad spike that's been banged into a knife. And I think I'm going to throw this in a fire and get an anvil and make it a better knife. Because you can see it's got some... Anyway, it's not... It needs help, I'm going to wrap some leather around it and stuff. But when I was a kid, a few times I found knives and they've been significant. Like this one time was at outside of Beatrice, Nebraska. It was maybe it was an old butter knife or something. But as a kid, it meant a lot to me. And then later I was in Larson Park, Nebraska, in Lincoln, Nebraska, Larson Park, and back up near the wash there, past the park in the mud. I found it was just a compass sticking out. It was a survival knife. Oh, I was proud of that. I was proud of pulling that thing out of the mud. Felt like pulling Excalibur out. And then I found this, and I was following a sign, if you will, and this place I was at, I call it the Yoni of the Mountain. It's like this slot canyon that not a lot of people know about. And every time I go up in there, I'm always, out of fear of my life, I have this reverence for the thing, because it's like these giant walls of that like kind of crumbly rock thing they look like you could just like sneeze on it and it'd fall. And if it did fall, it could create a little lake. So part of me wants to go up there and go do like Joshua and cause them to cave in, get some dynamite or something, make a lake. But so every time I pass through there, I'm like, blessings. But I go up there and play guitar a lot. One time I was playing guitar in this really nice thing, and a rock fell and bounced and hit the guitar. I was like, ever since then, I mean, you sit up there for any period of time and rocks fall. I don't know if you heard the story of a Polish guy who I thought was an assassin. That was in that same spot. But anyway, it's been a heck of a couple weeks, and I need to get this tooth pulled. I need to get these windows fixed. Everybody's like, "Oh, that sucks," blah blah blah, and I appreciate the sympathy, but like, yeah, it does suck. It could have been a lot worse, but now I don't want to rehash how bad things are, So the other day I'm listening to Thich Nhat Hanh. I have this tape set. Like I buy tape sets from the thrift store. Like if you go to the thrift store, there's these 6 cassette tape sets. I mean, like you must have seen these things, I mean, I've literally had dozens and dozens of these things. I get them all the time. Right now my car is full of them. I just spent $50 on them. I got a bunch. And the one I'm listening to is Thich Nhat Hanh, which is this Vietnamese Buddhist meditation master. And he is a master. And he can communicate some ideas better than almost anybody. Present moment, wonderful moment. I have arrived. I am home. So I have the idea of, like, I've been studying Stoicism and the idea of amor fati, love fate. So when all this happens, I'm like, this is perfect. Literally in the future, I'll look back and be like, oh, that was perfect. That led to this. And, there's a lot of details I'm not giving you about the whole Burning Man experience. And there's some good things and some more bad things. There was a lot of stuff that happened. Amor fati. So, the thing about being a wise person is that if you're not perfect, you slip sometimes. So, like, a little bit bad about it. But there's these calls, this is the Marriott calling to give you a free night stay. It's like, whatever, it's a scam. I mean, I get these calls all the time. I've done everything I can, to remove it from your list. Block these number, block that number. There's all these calls and random numbers. I push number one, talk to the person. I don't talk to the person. Whatever. But then the other day, I got a call. I'm like, I pushed number one, let it go. And then I got another one later. And this is why I feel bad. It sounded like a very nice person, like a nice lady. I don't know if she was from Sri Lanka or where they're from. But, oh, we're calling this or that. And I'm like, fuck, stop fucking calling me, I'm sick of this, rah, rah, rah. I literally had the phone like here, I just was yelling in the phone. It's like, I feel bad about that now, I'll probably feel bad about that for a while. I had to think about it and pray for the woman and, have to assume that she knew that I wasn't about her, even though I was railing negative energy directly at her. So now I feel a little bit bad. Like if I just had 1 minute, literally 10 seconds of patience, if I just hit the button and let it, whatever, not talk, I wouldn't feel bad. But now after that, like I just feel bad because I have a good serene sense of peace. I also have a lot of psychic power in my own belief about myself. And so like if I lose control and like just rail on somebody, it's like maybe anybody's anger would have damage, but I feel like I feel bad about it, So, and I don't know if I'd go so far as to say I took an oath, but I definitely made a commitment inside myself to like not be disrupted like that, I mean, I feel like a flame in the center of our being and a lantern around that flame. And the flame is that God child within us. And the lantern is our personality. And outside that lantern is all the weird winds of fate. And they're blowing this way and they're blowing this way. But the flame must stay steady and at peace. And that is through the agency of our personalities blocking that wind or blunting that, somehow navigating external circumstances to allow for inner peace. And so it's definitely it's definitely a practice. So I don't know if you've watched this far and you think I'm worth anything, say a little prayer for me, my peace of mind, my goodwill, all that my situation works out perfect. I think I'm gonna put a big old clearance sign on the front door, get rid of all the smoke shop stuff, just sell kratom and tattoos, and I just don't know what to do. I don't care about retail. I get calls all the time for tattoo supplies because for some reason Google has me come up. Well, no other tattoo shop would find much respect for me if I was a tattoo shop selling tattoo supplies to non-licensed artists. But I get so many calls, it'd kind of be worth it maybe. I don't know. My lease is up at the end of the year. I just kind of want to go to Europe, go to Prague, study oil painting for 2 years, and get a perspective. Because I feel like all the little tedious little things are driving me batty. Driving me batty. Well, it's just after the full moon. The new moon is in a couple weeks. I thought Burning Man would give me a perspective. I'd come back and be like, oh yeah, that's what I should do. But no, it just kind of like smeared things around a little bit. Anyway, God bless you. I hope you're well.